What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be going over the top 5 best and worst value centers in NBA 2K20 MyTEAM. So this is going to be the final one of these videos because we've already done point guards, we've already done 2 guards, small forwards, power forwards, and now we are on to centers. So before we get on to this, if you guys could leave a like, that would be really appreciated. We could get, I don't know, let's just say 100 likes, that'd be great. But anyway, now we are going to get onto the list. So before we get on to anything, it's not necessarily that the worst value are the worst. Actually, some of the, well, to be fair, this is the first time where I genuinely do think the 4 of the 5 best cards on this list are all in the best value. But some of the cards in the worst value are going to be better than some of the cards in the best value. So if some of your favorite players are in the worst value, it doesn't mean they're bad cards. It just means they are bad purely value-wise anyway. So anyway, we're going to start off with the top 5 worst value. I'm going to explain why I think they're bad value. Then we're going to go on to the top 5 best value and explain why I think they're good value. But anyway, now let's get on to it. At number 5 for around, I know he's 70k now, but from like somewhere between 50 and 75k normally. Sometimes up close at 100. It is the fully evoed Joakim Noah. So he's got 7 Hall of Fame badges: Intimidator, Rebound Chaser, Tireless Defender, defensive leader, rim protector, hack rusher. So sure, like, he is actually quite a good defensive player, but offensively he brings nothing. Like, his post hook's not great. He's got no jump shot. I couldn't care less if it says he's an 81 mid-range. He has a broken release. Free throw is not great. Yeah, sure, like, he can block shot. He actually can't even block shots that well because he's not even 7 foot tall. He's got good interior defense, got good rebounding stats, and he's moderately fast. But I've used Noah. He's just so average. And the fact is that you can get a very similar defender with a much better offensive game for much cheaper than this. Like, yeah, there are definitely much worse centers in the game. I'm not saying the guy's terrible. But for 70k, which for that price you can get some of the best centers in the game, it is just not good value at all for this Joakim Noah card. And number 4 for probably, I'd say around 200k MT is Nate Thurmond. I'm telling you right now, this card's good. This card is good. I've actually used them a few times on my PC account where I have the card. He's good. He's got Hall of Fame backdown Punisher, post move, lockdown, tireless defender, rebound chaser, defense leader, moving truck. So he's as good as you can get on the defensive end. 6'11", so same as Joakim Noah. His block rating is good, but again, like Noah, he doesn't block too many shots. Great interior defense. He's got great dunk, mid-range shot, much better release, so he will shoot the ball better than Noah. He's also got a fairly decent post game, and I don't know, he's also a little bit quicker than Noah. So he's a better version of Joakim Noah. But again, is really, really bad value. But again, because I'm going to have him even though he's better than Noah, he's probably double to 2.5 times the price. So Nate Thurmond has to be ahead of Noah in terms of value. But again, not a bad center, but if you're going to spend this much on a non-shooter, it better be on Wilt Chamberlain, because that's like one of the only ways you can justify spending 200k on a non-shooting big man. And at number 3, we have got Bryant Reeves. So 7 foot tall center, backdown Punisher, moving truck are his only Hall of Fame badges. He's actually got a really good release, and does he not have a quick draw? I could have swore he had a quick draw. He's actually, in my gameplay with him, he had a couple of nice 3-point shots. He's got a 55 rated 3. He actually can hit them when he's wide open, which is a really weird one. But he's got not a great block, not a bad block, but not the best block in the world. Interior defense isn't even that great of 85. Speed, he's really slow. Rebounding isn't the best. Lateral quickness is awful of 33. So this guy's not good, and he's 67k. Like, yeah, I get it that his Amethyst is so cheap at like 4k MT, but I've never seen a Diamond Bryant Reeves up for less than 45k because of how hard it is to evo him up. And at that price, like, you can't justify spending that. This card is very, very weak, and you can get better cards than this for 5k MT, to be honest. Number 2, probably, you could definitely argue this is number 1. For around 300k MT is Bill Walton. Again, not a terrible card. Like 94 offense, 93 defense overall. He's got 2 good Hall of Fame badges, 29 gold badges. But again, he's got no quick draw. His post game is really nice. He's got a decent mid-range, no 3-ball at all. He's got great passing stats. He's got a good block rating, but doesn't seem to block many shots. Great interior defense, great rebounding. Not great speed, but he's not unbelievably slow, and lateral quickness isn't good either. So, yeah, he's Again, another card that's just not bad, but for his price, for how expensive he is, you cannot argue that this guy is not one of, if not the worst value center in the game. And I'm going to explain why I have the guy at number 1 over him. And it's purely because that this guy is... Normally, I don't take into account reasons for bad value, but at least this card locks in for something. Whereas the guy is number 1 doesn't lock in for anything, and he's just ridiculously overpriced. But anyway, yeah. Luckily enough, or Bill Walton lucky not to be number 1. So now we're going to go on to number 1. So at number 1 for 60k MT, you guys might be thinking, why is this guy, he's nowhere near the price of Bill Walton. Why is he number 1? Because this card is terrible. He's got 3 Hall of Fame badges, only 14 gold badges, no quick draw. He's got a load of silver badges, some bronze badges. He's got an okay post game. He's got no 3-ball at all. He's 6'10". Like, so he's small for a center. He's got an okay mid-range, I guess, but with no quick draw, it's not great. Sure, his free throw is great, but what the hell big a deal is that? Like, he's got not a great block rating. Steal's terrible. Perimeter defense terrible. Speed, 2-ball, and acceleration is okay. Rebounding is good. Lateral quickness is 67, which is terrible. He's a 6'10" guy. Can't move laterally. Can't really block shots. Can't really shoot the ball. And it's just someone that you can dunk the ball inside to. Like, this Anthony Davis card is bad. At least Bill Walton has a couple of, like, redeemable qualities. He's just Bill Walton can play defense a lot better than this Anthony Davis can. And even though obviously most people wouldn't have this guy number 1, like, this card's terrible. Just like all these moments cards are bad, except for Luka Doncic, which is the same as moments of the week. Like, the specific moments cards for individual games, this card, the Kyrie Irving, the Siakam, the James Harden, they're all terrible. So yeah, that's number 1. So now we're on to the best value, and at number 5 for 55k MT, but I actually saw one about 10 minutes ago finish on bid for 45k. So around 50k normal, if you're really like persistent and looking at him, you'll be able to get him for. And that's the reason why he's in this list. It's Embiid. So Joel Embiid, he's 7 foot tall center. He's got some great badges like Rim Protector and Back Down Punisher Hall of Fame. He's also got Quick Draw, a really nice release, Lob City Finisher, a defensive leader, intimidator, rebound chaser, post move lockdown, tireless defender. So he's going to be a really, really good defender. And look at his stats offensively. So his post game is fantastic. He's also got a good mid-range, good 3-ball. The 3-ball is important because if you're able to run pick and pops, it spreads the floor. Being able to shoot the ball spreads the floor, which is of the utmost importance in NBA 2K20. Even if you guys don't like shooting centers, being able to shoot definitely is a bonus. Also got a great dunk. He's at a 93 block, really good interior defense, but again, not good perimeter defense, but he's not needed for that. It's not like he's a 6'10" center who you're going to almost have to play a power forward where lateral quickness matters. He's a 7 foot tall shot blocker. He's got great offense and defensive rebounding. He's also got really good speed, or really good speed with ball for a center. So 61 speed with ball, 70 speed, 69 acceleration for a big man. For an out and out big man is good. 69 lateral quickness is not great, but not terrible either. But again, like, the reason why I say some of the similar defensive stats aren't great on Anthony Davis is that Anthony Davis, one, isn't the interior rim protector that Joel Embiid is, and also Anthony Davis at 6'10" is a lot smaller. So Embiid, with that 2 inches high advantage, a much better jump shot, better post game, better animations, a physically better building game, which makes him a little more glitchy. Hall of Fame back down Punisher. This card is really, really good and not that expensive. And at number 4 for 2,850 MT is Rafe LaFrance. So I'm telling you guys this right now. Rafe LaFrance feels the exact same at Sapphire as he does at Ruby and as he does at Amethyst. I've used him at all 3. He feels the exact same. Yeah, sure, I'd rather have Amethyst and Sapphire. I'm not saying that, but it's not a noticeable upgrade. There's a few players where there's big upgrades when they get evoed. Some players are very little. This is one that's very little. So 14 gold badges, basically all the shooting ones and quick draw, which is huge. He's got a good post game, really nice post animations, also a 93 ball, and he's got a good enough block of 84, good enough interior defense, okay rebounding. Like, he's slow laterally. He is not going to be the greatest guy if you're guarding a stretch 5, but you know what? He's not the worst interior defender in the world. And also, he is a fantastic jump shooter, a really nice release quick draw, and is a great stretch 5 in this game, especially for the price of 2,850 MT, which is really good. So anyway, yeah, that is number 4. Now let's get on to number 3. And number 3 for around 58k MT, but again, just like Embiid, I saw that someone obviously must have put the two of them up for a bid, because they both ended at 50k, one after the other. So Karl-Anthony Towns is number 3. So the thing with this card is this is a weird one, because he shouldn't be as good as he is. Because, like, I'm not making the point that he's not one of the best offensive centers in the game. I think everyone knows that. Catch and shoot Hall of Fame. He's got range extender gold. He's like my perfect offensive center in terms of like the way I play. He's one of the best pick and pop jump shooters in the game. Release with quick draw is fantastic. He's got a great a good enough post game. Feels way better than that. He had a great 3-ball of 93. Good mid range shot. He's got a good block rating. Not great interior or perimeter defense. Rebounding is okay for a big man. I get 82 and 91 is good enough, but like for a diamond big you're spending this much on is only okay. Got great speed ball and acceleration for a big man. Lateral quickness is not terrible. So a lot of people are like, he can't play defense, basically because he's got terrible interior defense. And he's also got no defensive badges. And that should be the case. But if you guys have ever watched me with Cat, he blocks everything. He blocks everything, and no one seems to be able to finish at the rim against him. He cannot defend other post players. So I've came up against Mirasan a few times, and I've used Mirasan coming up against Cat a few times, and I just dumped the ball into Mirasan and just take him on one-on-one. That is one thing he cannot do. But in terms of like weak side help defense, getting to the stopping slashes at the rim, he does that as well, if not better than anyone else I've used. He shouldn't do it, but from my experience, he does. And this is my list, so he's an unbelievable card. I'm trying to think, is he my favorite? Would he be my favorite center to use in this game? He'd be right up there. Right up there. I actually use him over Chris Bosh, so he's right up there with my favorite centers this year. And at number 2 for 1,450 MT right now, and he can go for as low as 900 MT anytime that there's new content released, it is Ruby Karl-Anthony Towns. So Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously, same like animations and stuff as the previous one. Unfortunately, he does not have quick draw, but he's got 3 gold badges, 10 bronze, and 6 silver. Some just solid badges, obviously not great gold ones, but just overall decent badges. And like this guy, for this cheap, he's got a solid post game, not unbelievable, but solid. A decent 3-ball, decent mid-range shot. He's got a decent release. It is definitely a little bit on the long side, especially if you're used to using quick draw Cat. But if you are just starting out in this game, this is a perfect card to use. He's also got an okay block. With being 7 foot tall, he will block a couple of shots. Not great interior defense, decent rebounding, good speed, ball, and acceleration, and not great lateral quickness. Is he going to be the best center in the game? No. Is he going to be able to hold his own against 85% of the centers in this game? Yes. And for the price of normally less than 1,000 MT, or in and around that, depending on when you buy him, that is definitely deserving of number 2 on the best value list anyway. And there was only ever going to be one number 1, and it is Rick Smits. So Rick Smits Ruby is 5k MT. Yes, 5k. But I'm not going to say the Ruby is the best value because the Amethyst is. If you want to get the Ruby, a 3.8k for the Ruby is ridiculously cheap, but 13.9k for the Amethyst. Basically, if you want to evo him up, go for it. If you have a little bit of time rather than spending the extra 10k MT, but it is a fair bit of a grind. I think it's like 250 rebounds, 750 points. It is not easy to evo up Rick Smits. The difference is that he is a lot better at Amethyst. So he goes and gets a lot more gold badges, including gold back down Punisher, and his strength goes up to 92. Whereas this Rick Smits here has got 17 gold badges, back down Punisher is not one of them, and his strength is 87, so it is -5. But other than that, like obviously the mid-range shot as well is a big one, from 84 to 97. So that is a big one there. Like look at the amount of stats to go up. Like basically all the shooting stats go up. He's got not great lateral quickness. I forgot to mention he's a 7'4" center, so he's huge. He's basically, imagine Mirasan with a jump shot, and you've got Rick Smits. His block is 60, which is a lie. He's also got a really good post hook and fadeaway. Mid-range shot 97, really nice release. And yeah, one of my favorite centers to use in this game. And again, he is like 13k. So whether you want to spend a 3k on the Ruby. The Ruby's really good, and you want to just evo that card up, that is fine. Or you want to spend a little bit extra on the Amethyst. I don't know which one needs to put at number 1, so just some version of Rick Smits. Just if you're on a budget and you're looking for value, get some version of Rick Smits. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.